In just a matter of hours, a very important vote will be going down, and what Nancy Pelosi said yesterday evening in a Dear Colleague letter in regards to the stimulus package. All of that to be covered, plus a lot more in this video. Let's get into it right away. But really quickly, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I'm back for you every single day in videos just like this, talking through all of the updates that are being released each and every day, as well as other very important information that we need to cover to make sure that you're taking advantage of all the money, benefits, and anything else out there that you can possibly be eligible for during this time as a result of everything going on in Congress right now. So, thanks again for your support. I promise you, I'll continue to be here for you each and every day. All right, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and let's jump into this right away. So, first off, let's talk through this very important vote that is going down in just a matter of hours. Now, this is in reference to the House of Representatives coming together and finally voting on an extension of the debt limit, which was actually passed through the Senate last week. Well, now the House will finally be voting on that a little bit later today. Now, the majority of House representatives will not actually be going back to Washington to vote on this, but rather they'll be voting by proxy. This is something that is new as of 2020, so that these representatives can actually vote remotely from their own districts. Yes, they're on recess right now. Remember, we've talked about this. They're actually on recess once again. But remember, they were on recess pretty much the entire month of August and half of September, and now here we are, not even halfway through October, and yet again, they're on recess. So yes, anyway, poor them, they'll need to actually work for a couple hours later today. So we're feeling really bad for them these days, right? It must be rough. I don't know. What do you think? Should we all run for office simply because it seems like you get about, 2/3 of the year off? Seems like a pretty nice life, right? But anyway, sorry. I digress for just a second. So anyway, yes, they'll be voting on this very important vote a little bit later today, and it sounds that it'll likely pass with probably no problem at all, and the president has already indicated that he will be signing it immediately. So we can anticipate probably all of that a little bit later today. And that'll be a done deal. So this will extend out the ability for the federal government to pay all of their bills until early December. And then we're going to be facing this issue once again. Now, if you watched my video from earlier this morning, I hope you watched that. It was in dedication to Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, and basically anybody else who receives a monthly income or monthly fixed benefit. Now, in that video earlier, by the way, I'd highly recommend going back to check that out if you didn't see it a few hours ago. I would check that out because in that video we laid out a very important article and why it is so incredibly important to handle this debt limit issue, because if they didn't, we could potentially be looking at delays to all of those payments I just mentioned. Again, watch that video and it explains it very, very clearly right there, and I hope that gives a better understanding to everybody here, because it's a confusing topic. Let's be real. It's confusing to understand all this stuff, right? So, which is why I'm back each and every day to help you out through this. All right, now let's talk about Nancy Pelosi and her Dear Colleague letter that she sent out late yesterday evening. Now, she sent out this letter to her Democratic colleagues, and it was a short letter, and she basically called on them and said that many of her House representatives, as in the Democrats in the House, are reaching out to her, asking her to do less in this next stimulus package. In other words, there's a lot of people who are feeling probably a little bit uneasy with potentially this $3 trillion to $3.5 trillion number. Therefore, they're saying, hey, let's trim up this package a little bit. We're not really sure where to trim yet, and Nancy Pelosi isn't even quite sure herself, but essentially the consensus is we've got to trim this thing down a little bit. So this is kind of where the big confusion comes in across the House and the Senate right now, is a lot of people are kind of having a little bit of trepidations going on with this stimulus package, and they're saying, hey, we've got to trim this thing down, but we don't really know how or where to do it. But yet we still have the progressives, on the other hand, who are saying, oh no, we need to continue to go big and bold, and we need to bring it immediately. So, yeah, again, we'll have to watch this very closely because we don't know yet. We have no clue where they're going to trim this thing. We have no clue what they're going to do with this package, but all we do know is that a lot of people are coming out saying, we've got to kind of tame this thing down a little bit. So, interesting, and don't worry, I'll continue to watch that very, very closely going forward to see what we actually come up with. All right, now earlier this morning, we had a very important announcement out of the IMF, which actually stands for International Monetary Fund, IMF. Now, they were out with an announcement earlier today, which is actually kind of funny because I just released a video talking exactly about this yesterday evening, and now the IMF is out talking about the same thing. Now, they're out reducing their growth forecast for the world economy simply, and they are citing because of the Delta variant. They're citing because of the supply chain issues and increases in price on food and fuel. Do you remember my video from yesterday evening? This is exactly what I talked about in yesterday evening video. I talked about all of these 70-plus container ships that are anchored off of the coast of California right now, all of which came from across the Pacific Ocean, and all of these ships are containing anywhere between about 800 and 1,000 containers that have all of the goods that we need on our store shelves. Well, they can't get into the port because they don't have the manpower to unload all of these container ships. Therefore, we're going to continue to see a lot of shortages in the stores on our store shelves going forward. In fact, I've seen a number of reports coming out saying, look out, over the next couple of months here going into the holiday season, it's going to be a lot of shortages on the store shelves. So kind of like what we saw back in 2020. Remember that? You go into the store and it was like kind of weird. You look at the store shelves and be like, this is weird. Are they doing something? Are they resetting the store, or are they putting up new shelving, or like what's going on here? Because this is way too weird. There's nothing on the shelves. Do you remember that? I remember one of the first times Corey and I went to the store, we looked at the shelves and we're like, are they moving stuff, or what's going on here? Because this is too weird. We actually went to the pharmacy and asked the pharmacist, and we're like, what's going on? Like, where's all your product? And she's like, it's gone. It's sold out. It's not coming back. We don't have anything coming in. So it's super weird. In fact, my wife was just at the store yesterday and she said it's kind of getting to that point again. Super weird out there right now. So that's what's happening. It's all sitting on container ships out in the Pacific Ocean, anchored off of California right now. Scary stuff, and it sounds like it's going to get even worse going forward. Not only that, yesterday, a big investment bank out of New York, Goldman Sachs, they were out basically saying the same thing, reducing their growth forecast on the economy, simply citing the supply chain issues and inflationary concerns going on right now. A lot of things that we need to continue to pay attention to, because this is getting kind of scary, right? There's less supply, right? The products that we need on our store shelves are simply not there. Meanwhile, prices are getting jacked up across the board on so many other things, right? The necessities, the food products, all the fuel, the gas. Yesterday alone, crude oil hit not an all-time high, a high of $82 a barrel, which is the highest price we've seen in 7 years. Again, we're getting pinched. Everywhere we look, somebody's pinching us, right? I'm sick of being pinched. I don't like it. Yeah, anyway, we'll leave it there at that, right? Anyway, so yeah. One other thing I want to mention too, I've seen a number of different reports coming out over the last day or two here that is citing that the United States economy has most likely fallen into a recession as of September. So something else we got to pay attention to, because this could be kind of a bad situation as well. But either way, we've got a lot cooking right now. As you can see, there is a lot out there right now, and I'm only brushing the surface of all the different headlines that are out there right now. There's a lot going on. But either way, I wanted to come back to you and bring you the latest updates regarding this vote going down in a matter of just hours from right now in the House of Representatives, where they will likely pass that vote. We would hope anyway, because we're only less than a week out from when the federal government could be defaulting on a lot of money, right? Which could be a very bad situation. So that'll be happening here in a couple of hours. Well, in a few hours later today. The president should be signing that up right away. And then, of course, the latest Dear Colleague letter out of Nancy Pelosi and the latest details on the stimulus package. Wow, there's a lot going on. So anyway, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. I will continue to keep you posted with everything you need to know right now, as that is my commitment and dedication to each and every one of you right here. So subscribe down below. Make sure you stay tuned with all the videos, as there's a lot going on, and I'll continue to bring you those updates as we get them. So go back and feel free to check out some of the other videos right here on the channel, as well, as we're rapidly approaching 1,700 videos. Yeah, I know, that's a lot. It's pretty cool anyway. So enjoy your day. I'll catch you again later in the next update. Have a nice day. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you again later.